Attention, ladies who believe in quality over quantity. You may be craving more in life right now or different things. I'm going to explain why we're doing this and the reasons why it's really good for you. And today I'm going to be talking about how you're potentially craving the best of it all. Craving the best of it all. So I found myself recently craving kind of better things, not more things, but better things. And I'm just about to head out to, where am I going first? Tokyo, and then the Philippines and Bali. And as I talk with my travel friend, she says, Diane, I've done backpacking, I've stayed in hostels, I've done the whole kind of cheap and cheerful thing. And I'm just beyond that now. I want a nice place. I want to stay in quality. And I realized as I get older, and maybe you're feeling this way too, there are certain things I will not do anymore. Like more so, I won't take public transit from the airport. I'm going to get an Uber and I'm going to go for that bigger room at a hotel. And I want the nicer wine with dinner. And there are all these different things, but it's not even just from travel and food, it's spilling out into my relationships, my home, the things, the projects I say yes and no to, the clients I work with, like all in every single area of my life. I'm wanting the best. And it's not that before I didn't want the best, it's just that I valued other things over maybe having the best, or I valued more things rather than less things. So today I'm going to talk about how you are maybe at that point in your life where you're craving the best of it all, of every single area of your life, and how we're going to use that in a positive way, how it's going to benefit you in your life, and maybe the reasons why. So when I think about basically North America, right? We have this way of seeming like we need to have more. You need to have 20 pairs of sunglasses and multiple pairs of shoes and a bigger, better car. And it just kind of continues and continues and continues. But there's also a factor around we're getting less. So if you travel to other countries, you may see the portion sizes are smaller because they actually have more nutrition. So when you aren't getting the quality that you're looking for in one area of your life, you're going to seek more. You're going to be pulling more. And that's why our bodies are pulling for more food because we're getting less nutrition. We're getting more clothing and more items from all these cheap Shein and all these Temu and all these places. And I'm not even going to talk about the like wrongful work conditions that people are under and slave labor and all that, because that's a real thing. But just the fact that because we're not getting satisfied with what it is, we are drawn to do more and get more, buy more, have more, but it's providing us with less happiness, less connection, less nutrition, and more yearning for other things. And that's where we often get into this place of feeling overwhelmed by the amount of stuff, feeling overworked because our schedules are completely chock-a-block of things because they're maybe not the right things. We're eating too much or we're getting overweight because we're never satisfied. We have all these connections on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff, but how many of them are actually quality connections? And I'm at this place in my life, and maybe you are too, where frankly, less is more. Like I'm just sick of how much stuff, how much is in my schedule or has been in my schedule. And I really just want the quality. I want the quality over the quantity. I think that's why I love watching Tiny House Nation. I'm a little bit obsessed with watching people downsize and go into these tiny homes. Now, I also don't want to live that way because I value my space and I don't need a 8,000 square foot home, but I value my space so that I can recharge, especially with the work I do. It's very external and very client focused and in presentation mode. And I need my own space a lot of the time. So this kind of peaked for me too when I saw friends. I had some friends who lived on a boat, an actual like boat with a house in the bottom of it. And I was really intrigued because the kids only had like a very small kind of floor cupboard where they could put their toys. And they only had a few toys. But the thing is, they actually played with them, where I look at what my kids have and they have lots of toys and they barely play with them. And these kids on this boat, they were so happy and they were imaginative and they were helpful around the house and they had rich friendships. And I thought, wow, like this comes from less. This is the joy of focusing on the quality. But we're not as intentional about our lives sometimes because society dictates how we should be. And it's that more being shoved down our throats all the time. And so over the past few years, I've been streamlining the business. I've been focusing on having less in my home, less in my life. Are you wanting that too? Right? I'm sure you're at this point in your life that you go, wow, I'm not 20 anymore. You've grown in wisdom, you've grown in experience, and you've grown in taste in what you want. And you're not going to settle for garbage anymore. So I'm going to talk through some of the benefits of focusing on a quality over quantity lifestyle where you are going for the best and the best in whatever that term is for you. It doesn't need to be the most expensive. It's not necessarily the biggest, but it's what is craving the best for you. And that's always the case in the wheel of life. I'm always looking for what is the best in every single area, meaning what is ideal for you at this stage of life with what you're desiring, what is best for you. So let me go through some of the things. You're probably at a point now where you believe that you're going to look for long-term satisfaction over like a short-term gain, right? And you want to savor it, savor the flavor per se. So think of like a gourmet meal where every single bite is rich, it's satisfying, it's memorable, instead of stuffing your face with fast food. You don't want that anymore, right? You want to indulge in something that's truly delicious. And so I'm thinking about my time in as I come up to my just 3 days where I'm going to be in Tokyo, kind of as a stopover before going to the Philippines to meet my virtual assistant team. And I thought, I want to stay at a great place because it's just 3 days. I'm going to stay right in the heart of Tokyo so that I am close to everything because my time is so valuable. And you probably believe that too. Time is valuable. Maybe you have aging parents or they've passed. Maybe you have other people around you that are becoming widows, which is crazy to think. Like I'm going to be 45 in September and crazy to think I know widows. And I see how life is short and I could be considered, my dad passed at just about 80. I'm 45. I'm more than middle of his age, right? And so you see how you can have experiences that maybe have less, you're eating less food, experiences that maybe cost a little bit more, but you know that you're going to have a better memory of it. No one really remembers the street meat they had in college on the street. You're not going to remember how good it was. You're not going to remember the burger from that fast food joint. But what you are going to remember are those special meals that you've gone to. And so I'm remembering one of my first breakfast in Tokyo, or my first breakfast in Japan at a ryokan, which is like a Japanese style bed and breakfast, very traditional. And they gave me this big platter tray of foods, but there were only little bites of foods in each of the bowls. But I spent time with the food and I enjoyed the food, and the food was all natural, fresh ingredients, real foods, no fillers. And I will always look back and remember that meal. And so think right now about where in your life do you need to think about like where can you savor the flavor? Where can you slow down a little bit? have a little bit less, and that you know that's going to give you long-term satisfaction. The second one, and I'm going to go through, I've got 6 points I want to make. So the second one is around value. And you appreciate value. And yes, you want like more bang for your buck and all that. But you're at this point where you think, oh, I'd rather have one classic piece, one amazing outfit that I'm going to feel like a superstar in rather than 10 outfits that like fall apart after a few washes or look terrible. So you know that it's about the quality, the value you're going to get. So I'm looking now at, yes, I never, my rule was I don't buy linen because it's terrible to take care of. But the thing is, I'm now looking for like, and maybe you've already jumped on this bandwagon, but I haven't because I was just more so earlier about I just want life to be easy and efficient. And buying linen when it crinkles, wrinkles, and I have to iron it, that's not efficient for me. But I'm now, and I've seen this for a while, I just haven't switched over fully. But I want to buy really amazing pieces, not fast fashion, amazing pieces that I cherish, and I get so excited to wear them as if they're like a friend I'm seeing, a really great friend. And so value is the second piece around why moving to craving the best and actually fulfilling that is going to be better for you. Because really, quality is all about making the smart choices that are going to like pan out for you in the long term and big time because it's going to help you in other areas. So if I have this one amazing superstar outfit, I'm going to show up better in my business and in my life. The third one is around personal fulfillment. So we really want you to have that feel good factor. And that comes from having these high quality experiences or high quality items in your life. There's a difference between having a beautiful shirt or having a cheap shirt, right? And again, you could be spending the same amount of money. You could buy one shirt for $100 or 10 shirts at $10 each. You've spent the same amount of money. So it's not about money. So I can buy all the shirts. It's not about the money. It's about how you feel when you're wearing these pieces, how you feel when you're having these experiences, right? And choosing the things that really bring you joy and get you fired up, possibly. So, if you're the type of person that when you go to an amusement park, you want to be on the thrilling roller coaster, great. That's amazing. If that brings you joy, and that's what you should be going for over like a dull merry-go-round because you're going to be talking about that amazing roller coaster forever. Now, if you're the type that likes those swings that go up in the air, if that brings you joy, then wait in line for that and skip the roller coaster if you don't like it. It's about choosing the things that are the right fit for you. Again, craving the best for you of every area of life. Okay, so now we've got number 4. It's also about sustainability, quality over quantity, right? It isn't just great for you to have great quality items that will last a long time. It's so good for the planet. Like the other day it killed me because we had to move some stuff into our carry-on luggage from our suitcase, and I didn't realize my daughter had a full-size toothpaste in there. And it's funny because I felt really bad for the toothpaste and really bad for the environment that was going straight into the garbage rather than being used, even though it's just like a $2-3 toothpaste. So it wasn't the money, it was about the planet. And it kills me the amount of waste that happens in the world. I grew up in a very eco conscious family where everything had a new purpose, everything could be reused. For example, toilet paper rolls were cut in half. My dad used those as starter holders for his plants for the garden. And the great thing is you put them in the garden and they just naturally compost, right? And so it's actually quality over quantity is going to make you really super eco chic, right? It's not beneath me to buy secondhand. It is not beneath me to take hand-me-downs for my kids. It is not beneath me to, if I have something in the fridge, like leftovers from the day before, it is not beneath me to eat leftovers because I have a very strong value for caring for the environment. And craving the best means that you're not going to just be chucking things and getting rid of things. You're really going to be valuing and caring for the things you have because you're going to love them. The next piece is around overwhelm. You get to avoid overwhelm. And I mentioned before about like decluttering and getting rid of and having less, but it's more so about choosing to keep things really simple, really streamlined. And so that can be in your business, in your career, in the things you do. It's so satisfying, right? It's so satisfying to have less in your calendar. And it's so satisfying to have less in your home and your closets and to care for. And having that kind of clutter-free zen in all areas of life means you get to truly love and be present for the things that matter most. And the last one, the sixth one, around why it's beneficial to have quality over quantity is the depth of experience and the depth of connection that you can have. And so I've realized, in the past, I've built the Dynamic Women community, and it got to the point where I knew everyone by name. We had 8 locations running every single month, and I knew everyone by name, and I knew which chapter that they had joined originally, and I knew everyone's profession. And it just got to the point where I didn't know anymore. And I was thinking I was meeting someone for the first time, even though it was now the second. And I didn't like that for myself. And so I really see how kind of the quality of the connections, the deepness of these connections grows when we're looking at what are the best relationships for you. And so that's meant over the years, I've just kind of let some relationships go. During COVID, my Facebook account was deactivated. I went from almost 4,000 connections or even more. I don't know if I was close to 5, I don't remember. To now only just 1,500 connections because I'm being a little bit more thoughtful about who I allow in my life and who is to be in the circle of my life. And not because I am like the best and not everyone gets to be my friend. It's just more so like who am I most connected to and who can I deepen that relationship with? And so maybe you're thinking about that too, that maybe it is time to call your contact list or the people you're connected with on social and the people that you gift your time to, right? So those are a bunch of reasons why maybe you're also craving the best and that craving the best in every area of your life. This has pushed me recently in one of my coaching sessions when I was being coached, because I have a few coaches. I realized I'm really wanting to curate an amazing group of women who come together to break bread, to share a meal, and who are also craving the best. And it got me thinking like, I love in Dynamic Women where you got to come and you got to like connect with a whole bunch of people and you got like a taste of what they were like. But it was still a big room of 30 people and maybe, some of our bigger events, 100 more people. Maybe you've been to conferences, conventions with 1,500, 5,000 people and it was overwhelming and you don't get to have that moment of really connecting with people. Because when you have that real connection with them, you don't necessarily then at that point have to do a ton of follow-up calls to get to know people and get business cards because you're going to go straight into their contact list on their phone. That's the difference. The difference of, can I have your card? Let's connect on LinkedIn, to what's your phone number? Let's meet up next week for coffee. So I created this event, and I'm going to do one. We'll see where it goes. I feel this is going to be so good and so rich and so juicy. So you're invited, women in North Vancouver, BC, and surrounding area, or if you're going to fly in, you're invited to this really amazing event called Taste. Our first one's going to be on September 11th from 6:30 to 9:30. It's an exclusive dinner party experience for successful female business owners who are in North Vancouver, BC, or around. So if you can drive in, you can travel in, but I'm warning you, this is not your typical transactional networking event, because where I'm at in my business, I don't need to meet hundreds and thousands of people networking anymore. I just want some strategic and some really enriching friendships, so strategic business relationships and really enriching and deep friendships in my life. And I have a bunch of those, but I'm always open for more because, again, I'm craving the best. So with Taste, the intention is to help satisfy your cravings for energizing conversations, not this small talk garbage that you have to do in different places, and deeper connections where you're like, whoa, like we're on the same wavelength, with a major focus, just like I did with Dynamic Women, a major focus on who you are rather than what you do. You don't got time for fluff. You don't have time to show up at an event to get pitched to in the first 30 seconds. It is time to show up in a place where you get to fully taste. So you get to taste the food. We're doing a 3-course meal, appetizer, entrees, dessert. You're going to get a welcome signature cocktail, networking, and a curated conversation. I am going to put the link in the notes, so please check that out. If you're in the area, we'd love to see you. I'd love to see you, and so would the other women who are coming. So what can you expect? Well, we're going to kick off our evening with fun, warm introductions, not those boring elevator pitches. And then we're going to dive into our topic for the night. This topic of our first one is going to be balancing being strong and feminine, right? Because we're leaders and we're powerful and we're independent. And we also want to be the amazing, wonderful, feminine women that we are. But how do we balance that when we're often in our masculine in our work? And so why did I create Taste? Well, our time and energy are precious, right? And at this level that we're at least the level that I'm at, and then probably the level that you're at in your life, your business, your career, it's all about quality over quantity. And like in business, I'm super selective about who I work with. I'm very intentional about where I go and what I do and who I spend my time with. But we don't want to be lone wolves, right? We don't want to be that silo all by ourselves doing all the work, being leaders. So I created Taste to really meet and connect more intentionally and frankly, just to have some fun and eat some good food. So if you're interested in joining us, this is a curated event where I am asking everyone that wants to come to fill in an application so that we get really the right people there. So if you are someone that likes to card sling and you love small talk and you love surface level networking, this is not the event for you. This is for those who want to meet people who are aligned with themselves, who can be intentional, high level people who want quality over quantity. So if that's for you, I invite you to check it out and to get your ticket, because it is a small group, because we are doing quality over quantity, because I'm craving the best and I know you are too. And this is going to be just an amazing experience. So thank you for listening to this episode. I'm curious, which part of craving the best did you relate to the most? Or did I miss something? Shoot me an email, diane@dianerolston.com. And I'd really appreciate it if you could rate, review, give us a 5-star review of this podcast. It really helps to reach other people, as well as sharing this with others, and make sure you subscribe. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.